Hello, this is TB. I wanted to come and say hello to everyone. I am doing okay. I have a few more things to go through, and hopefully it will be okay. I decided to make this video to, let's say, my throat cancer video. And on February 12th, I woke up with the most severe sore throat ever. And I was like, well, I'll give it a few days and hopefully it'll go away. Well, needless to say, 8 days later, it did not go away. So I finally went to the doctor. The first thing the doctor said was, you need to quit smoking. I was like, hmm. Well, that's funny because I've never smoked a day in my life. And he says, well, and you probably don't need to drink when you're smoking. I'm like, do you hear me? I have never smoked and I've never drank a day in my life. So he wrote me a prescription and says, oh, your glands are swollen and you got sinus issues. Fine. Okay. Voice never came back. Went to another doctor. This doctor sent me to an ENT specialist. The specialist checked me, said, no, you don't have any sinus problems or anything like that. He said, but your throat is real red. We'll check it for strep. I didn't have strep throat. So I was like, okay, but in the meantime, I've got to have some relief. Because by then, I was not eating a thing. So he gave me some medicine. The ENT called another specialist in. I guess he's a more in-depth ENT specialist. And I went and I had this scan done. I won't even gross you out because it grossed me out when I had it done to see all these lumps in my throat. So they were like, we need to take your tonsils and we need to take your adenoids as soon as possible. Okay, let's do this. That was done. 9 weeks later, I had no voice at all. None. So I was like, okay, well, maybe I'm just rushing the healing process. So I go back to this specialist and he says, well, a lot of scar tissue had developed over the 9 weeks and it has paralyzed your vocal cords. Great. Okay, now what? More surgery? Because that's not what I want. So, after another week of contemplating and thinking about it, I was like, okay, this is going to be your last shot. And then I'm going to have to find somebody else. And I don't care if I have to travel all over the country. I will find somebody that can tell me something. Well, I got a new doctor, a new MD. She sent me for a series of tests. I practically lived at the hospital. I even went and had a sleep apnea study, and they said it's so low I didn't even need the machine. But to help with my breathing, because my vocal cords would not open up, they put me on a very low dose with this sleep apnea machine. So I'm like, okay, fine. I'll do that. Well, in the meantime, she sent me to yet again, another specialist. About time I get to this specialist, my face is so swollen, my eyes are swollen shut. And I was like, oh my God, I've got to get some relief. I'm telling you, the pain was so intense. I wanted to slit my throat. Well, this doctor says, that's not right, something's wrong. So I was put in the hospital, given all this medicine, and the right side went down, but the left side didn't. So he says, maybe your sinus ducts are clogged. Well, they did that. They drained the fluid out of it, and it went down. I'm sure you can see like this knot in here. And then another knot started developing. And I called one morning when I woke up. I said, I can't breathe. I feel like my throat is closing up. Rushed me to the emergency room. And come to find out, there are 3 nodules, tumor-like. One is a little bit bigger than a golf ball. And mind you, I can feel this, but because it's so tender, they were not able to check my lymph nodes because to see if I had any knots, because I can't stand for anybody to touch it. Well, to make this long story short, come to find out where the surgery was done on my adenoids and tonsils, the scar tissue developed into lumps. The lumps have done severe nerve damage and it's pressing on my nerve. It's painful to talk, but I just want all my divas to know I do feel so much better. So they're going to go in and they're going to remove them and also remove the part of the knot that's on my thyroid. Because in a month's time, I lost 38 pounds. And I wasn't dieting, but I wasn't eating as much. I was just mainly doing liquids. So maybe one day next week, I'll have this surgery done. And I will be back with an update. But I'm just telling you, I'm not even worried at all. I had a biopsy done. After the biopsy, I couldn't move my head for a week. And the first biopsy showed that it wasn't cancerous. But the second biopsy and the third one proved that it was. So you're going to go in, repair the nerve, remove the nodules, and I already know it's going to be all right. Because I serve a good God, I'm telling you. And I already know it's already done. I'm not claiming that. He can take that cancer and go somewhere with it because I'm not worried. But I just wanted to let my divas know what I was going through. And I miss you all. And I love you all. And I will keep you posted through this whole journey. So, love you. And I will keep in touch. Bye. Bye.